This is Andrew Wicklund from Project Risk Consultants. We're going to go over the Import Check tab in the Primavera Risk Analysis or the Pertmaster tool. Now, we're going through the second step of a risk analysis. So we're looking at this file and we're validating that the data came in as expected. There's a tab towards the bottom right, and this is regardless Microsoft Project, Primavera P6, P3. You're going to get this Import Check tab. So I'm going to click on an item and just walk you through exactly what this means. So you'll notice on the right hand side you've got a start check and a finish check. Now on the Gantt chart you've got some silver bars. The silver bars, it's just an overlay. It's taking the start and finish date of that activity in the original scheduling tool and creating an overlay. Now the red and the blue bars, that's the way Primavera Risk or Pertmaster is calculating the CPM network. So I look at this, and this start check column shows the number of days that activity is off from the original schedule. So it's showing the delta between the original schedule and this. The finish check is showing the number of days that activity is off as well. So notice that this activity came in with 0 duration. We mentioned before in the import log, if I go to the import log, review the import log, I can trace the problem. That activity, erect scaffold, the actual start and the actual finish were removed because those actual start and finish dates were in the future. So I can go back to my import log and see why it happened. This is going to be a real good indicator that something's wrong with the schedule and I need to fix that. So you'll notice if I put a 13-day duration on here, a 14-day duration on, it's going to be back in line. My whole schedule has come back in line now. So originally this was 0 days. So you'll notice I have 7 days early, it ends 7 days early. So that whole activity moves 7 days back. There's many things that you want to look for in this section. It really does help you trace bugs in the original schedule. At this point, if I see this file, I could fix it here, but the best practice is to go back to the original file, trace it through the schedule check log, the scheduling options, the import log, and fix that original issue. If I went back and I fixed these 3 issues, the house refurbished actual start in the future, the actual start and finish of the erect scaffold activity, this is going to line up perfectly. As is, if I change these durations, it's back in line. Now, one of the things that I look for and is a real good indicator that there's a problem with how the durations came in is if I ever see the start check and the finish check don't match. So right now I know it started on time, but somehow that activity finished 6 days late. Well, that means to me, without even thinking about anything else or tracing any bugs, the start was good, but somehow 6 extra days of duration were added on. Same thing if I go back to 5 days here. I know that duration came in 3 days short. So something I did wrong in the statusing, maybe I put the planning unit wrong. Something happened to make that out of line. It's easy to get intimidated by the number of checks because if I put in a big number here, look, it ripples through the whole schedule. So everything's 6 days off. But this started 6 days late, finished 6 days late. Whereas when I trace this problem back, this is the one that didn't start and finish the same amount of time. There's my culprit. So now I would want to go back and trace this and find out why it was an issue and fix it in my original scheduling tool. But you'll notice, even if I fix it right here, I fix one issue, the rest of the schedule pops back in line. Now everything lines up with what I had in Microsoft Project. So it's real important to go through this, trace the logic, run a schedule check, do some of these things to figure out what the root cause of the problem is. Fix it in the original schedule and re-import. It's one of the best schedule maturity tools that you could use. So it finds errors that you would never find otherwise.